They were getting their hair and nails done when...
And all I could hear was pop, pop, pop.
Why police say a man may have shot up this salon. Operation Hackerazzi, and the man police say invaded the privacy of celebrities. Why he says he did it and who was affected. BlackBerry users are having to use the old-fashioned method of communicating. The latest on the worldwide outage. And Paula Deen's love for butter really has men loving her. Your Independent News Network starts right now. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Mickle. Welcome to INN News. A peaceful seaside community in total shock this evening after a mass shooting inside a Southern California salon. Police arrested this man, 42-year-old Scott DeCry from Huntington Beach.
All I could hear were screams and shots.
Police say he opened fire in a busy hair salon near Los Angeles and killed 8 people. Police believe his intended target was his ex-wife. Police say the two were in a custody dispute. It is not known yet if she's among the dead. Those who knew the couple say they had a very turbulent relationship for years. A Jacksonville, Florida man has been arrested, accused of hacking into celebrity email accounts. More than 50 people, including entertainers Scarlett Johansson, Christina Aguilera, and Mila Kunis, were affected. A recently circulated nude photo of Johansson is part of the investigation. The FBI says Cheney's arrest was part of Operation Hackerazzi. He's now apologizing.
It started as curiosity, and it turned into just being, addicted to seeing behind the scenes of what was going on with these people you see on the big screen. I was almost relieved months ago when they came in and took the computer.
Cheney says he did hack their accounts, but says he is innocent of selling any of it. If convicted on all counts, he could face the rest of his life in prison. Investigators are looking into a crash between 2 trains in Northern California. An Amtrak train went past a red signal and crashed into another that was parked at Jack London Square in Oakland. This happened last night. Here's what one passenger had to say.
I guess every car bumped together closer, and it was an awful joke. I don't know where I'd have went if I had been standing up. I was in the seat.
Fortunately, no one was seriously hurt. Well, this is something you don't see every day. A small plane being towed off the Florida Turnpike north of Miami. That's where it crashed yesterday. 2 people were on the plane when it crash landed. Their conditions are not known, but the pilot reportedly was taken to a hospital with back pain. Police credited the pilot for landing the plane and not hitting any vehicles on the road. We still don't know what caused that crash. Another person has died from last week's helicopter crash in New York's East River. 43-year-old Helen Tamaki died yesterday. 5 people were in the chopper when it crashed shortly after takeoff from a Riverside helipad. 4 were rescued, but a 5th, Sonia Mara, drowned on her 40th birthday. The survivors include the pilot and Mara's stepfather and mother. Tamaki was a family friend. 2 more deaths are now being linked to a listeria outbreak from those tainted cantaloupes. That brings the total number to 23. The 2 latest deaths were reported in Louisiana, both women in their 80s. The CDC says at least 116 cases of listeria have been reported in now 25 states. That number is expected to go up. The tainted cantaloupes shouldn't be in stores anymore. Jensen Farms in Colorado recalled its Rocky Ford brand cantaloupes last month. Now, if you have a cantaloupe and you're not sure whether it's safe, you should ask your grocery store about it. An earthquake struck off the Indonesian island of Bali early today, rattling buildings and sending dozens to hospitals with minor injuries. The quake had a magnitude of 6.2. No tsunami alert was issued. A radiation scare that had nothing to do with Japan's failed nuclear plant caused officials to investigate in Tokyo. They searched the neighborhood where high levels were detected. Glass bottles inside a box found in a basement was the cause. It's not been revealed what's in them. People in Thailand are dealing with massive flooding. The flooding has killed nearly 300 people and destroyed thousands of miles of farmland. Honda says its Thai plant is literally underwater and hundreds of cars have been ruined. President Obama welcomed his South Korean counterpart to the White House today. The president and First Lady Michelle Obama greeted President Lee Myung-bak and his wife on the South Lawn for a formal arrival ceremony. The agenda included a series of meetings and wrapped up with a state dinner tonight. Congress just approved free trade agreements with South Korea Korea, Colombia, and Panama yesterday. Air Canada flight attendants didn't walk the picket line today. The union representing the 6,800 workers called off the strike after receiving an order from the government. The Canada Industrial Relations Board said the workers must remain on the job while their contract dispute is under review. And that's your Global News Now. Well, good news for BlackBerry users. Service is back up and running. The BlackBerry outages started Monday in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, then spread to the U.S. and Canada yesterday. It mostly affected internet service and text messaging. An executive at Research in Motion, that's BlackBerry's parent company, says he's sorry about what's happened.
You know, our primary focus at this point in time is to maintain that service, get that service back to the levels that we expect, but more importantly, that our customers come to expect from the BlackBerry service.
The company thinks it knows what caused that backlog. It has been working to make sure that it does not happen again. Well, another week, another poll, and an emerging Republican presidential frontrunner. That's tonight's Your Vote 2012. A new national poll finds GOP presidential hopeful Herman Cain has jumped to the top of the pack. The NBC News Wall Street Journal survey finds Cain snagging first choice among 27% of Republican voters. That's ahead of Mitt Romney, who 23% favored. The survey was done before Tuesday's New Hampshire debate. Governor Rick Perry's numbers keep dropping, now at 16%. A rhinoceros made a run for it at a Miami zoo. He escaped from his main enclosure yesterday. Park visitors were moved to safe areas to prevent an attack. Workers quickly secured all park entrances and exits so the 21-year-old male Indian rhino wouldn't completely bust out of the park.
It took 25 minutes because as he walked off, you don't want to push him. You want to just everything at his leisure. So he started eating some grass. He said, just wait on him, don't press him, don't get him nervous, because if you get behind him too quickly, if you press him too hard, that's when they panic.
The rhino is now safe and back in his home. No one was hurt during the animal's attempted great escape. Coming up next, living in the nation's heartland, being credited for good credit, plus fewer babies and what it means for our economy, and practicing safe sex. How teens are doing these days. And a woman some of you think is sexy. What's Paula Deen's appeal? That's coming up on INN. And we want to remind you INN News is on Facebook. Now you can also find us on Twitter at INN News Network. And we're on YouTube. We're reaching out to you so you can reach out to us. INN News will be right back.